Hello and welcome back to Halcyon Blink. I'm your host Lorne. In this episode I'm going to be taking a look at the Big Bang Theory, television show that's been running for God knows how long now, nearly 10 years, and a show that I have found a tremendous amount of joy and just, you know, this is our generation's Friends. If we're perfectly honest with ourselves, it takes the same format, in fact one of the same writers or producers, I forget, Chuck Lorre, I believe he was affiliated with that, and 2.5 Men, and just brings it up to the modern age and makes nerds cool, baby! And the main reason for this is because the show's just fun, very easy to relate to. A couple of people, normal people, albeit super intelligent to an extent, getting into situations and hijinks and having fun getting out of it. And you've got to remember, this show aired back when it wasn't inherently cool or societally acceptable to be a quote-unquote geek or nerd. They were still looked upon with a certain degree of contempt or, you know, a bit of, you know, hey, look at the nerds, ha ha ha. And sought to kind of show how people of that kind of intellect and that kind of persuasion of comedy interacted with each other and attempt to put a humorous spin on it. And I've got to be honest, from the first episode, I absolutely loved the show. It was fantastic just getting introduced to the main two characters, Leonard Hofstadter and Sheldon Cooper, from the get-go, speaking about a scientific theorem which is still being debated in terms of its application to this day, which is just, it gives you a taste of what you're getting in for right from the get-go. It's pretty sweet.
We're selling our sperm to a high IQ sperm bank.
Sheldon, did you fill the cup or not?
Well, I don't think those cups are designed to be filled. The size is meant to facilitate aim, like a spittoon of the Old West.
And just from there, the shirts, the props, toys, cameos, and the never-ending in-jokes just make this show it's so funny to me, because every time I watch the show thinking, they have another pop culture reference, which, yes, it's a cheap pop for an audience that they know are going to be, you know, slightly more oriented towards that sort of thing. But I'm a mark for that. So every time there's a Star Wars reference or there's a Hulk reference or whatever, it's hilarious to me because my friends do occasionally put those references in, and it's funny between us. You don't get it in sport so much, you don't get it in any other aspect of life, but anytime you pop a science fiction reference in conversation with my friends, it tends to get a bit of a pop.
Sheldon?
Yes?
And the weird thing is, when the show debuted, I think it had a very clear hierarchy of people that were funny. Sheldon was the king, undisputed king of funny, with the other characters being almost a support for his narcissism and kind of more neurotic tendencies. But as the show grew, my appreciation for all of the characters' sense of humour and standpoints grew, to the point where I now consider Raj to be one of the funnier characters. Howard has his moments, and Leonard is also kind of taking more of a backseat. In fact, he might be the least important in terms of, because he's the guy we're all meant to relate to in terms of he's the least nerdy to an extent, and more importantly, sometimes doesn't want to be nerdy. He wants to be the normal guy and tries to make steps denying who he really is, whereas Sheldon's just completely at peace with the fact that he is a nerd and an intellectual, which is why probably I related to Sheldon more than anyone else, because I too often get branded as overly articulate, think too much, say too long words, and yada yada yada. And I just kind of go, well, pick up a dictionary and learn them, and we can all talk the same language then. But again, moving on, I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of the... What's the best way to put this? They tried to make it into the literal modern day version of Friends. It became a show that then had to appeal to a broad spectrum of people, so they had to get the girls in. Now, there was nothing wrong with Penny in the first place. Penny was a potential love interest, and then Amy to a certain extent. You know, I just felt that it detracted from the point of the show, which is that these are people who are nerds. And yes, I get that people get, but oftentimes the relationships aren't the most important things in their lives, and they were trying to make them more into... It was kind of like the Joey spin-off series where they were all very insecure, and we don't like watching that very often. However, I can't lie and say that Sheldon and Amy doing a nasty and being in a relationship isn't the greatest thing that I've ever seen on a television screen. That is the funniest, most amazing thing ever, because you build up this relationship, you build up this expectation, and then when it finally happens, man, is it funny. It's so funny, man. If you've not, it's really hard to kind of bash through it. I mean, you might be one of these people that can binge watch stuff. I just don't have the time to sit and watch 12 hours of TV anymore. I'm too busy 12 hours of gaming. But the point is that if you can catch up to the most recent series, having watched it all, and you can see Sheldon and Amy's dichotomy in their relationship grow, and Amy being his equal at one point but then surpassing him in leaps and bounds and wanting to be more effeminate, being more into relationships and that sort of thing, and then Sheldon almost ingratiating her by saying, oh, okay then, if we must. He's a don! He's an absolute don! And it's brilliant when it happens in the end, because it's just such a shocking thing that everyone's like, oh my god! I was exactly the same, and I don't mark out that hard for stuff like that anymore. Very rarely do I do that, but for that I can't lie and say that I didn't pop big for that. However, just to come back to a review standpoint, if you're coming into this series from a completely blank perspective and you just want to get something to watch for a bit, I'd recommend season 3 onwards. The first 2 series kind of do the same thing every show and kind of devolve around just a lot of in-jokes. The third series, the characters feel padded out enough that they can be more themselves and add more of their mannerisms in, so you're more likely to get invested at that point. Plus, the in-jokes are cut down a little bit more, and it's more situational. So you've probably got a better chance of relating to it if you're not a nerd, let's say, and you're more used to sort of EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever, where people talk more normally. But there's still enough in there that if you are a nerd and you want to then go back into the series 1 and 2, then you're going to get more of what you like. So that's where I'd recommend you start if you've never watched an episode of the show before in your life.
So, what do you say, Sheldon? Are we your X-Men?
No. The X-Men were named for the X in Charles Xavier. Since I am Sheldon Cooper, you will be my C-Men.
And I have to say that overall, the show itself has impeccable delivery of unbelievably complicated lines, great comedic timing, interesting and deep characters, absolutely fantastic and hilarious in jokes, and for my money, the most heart to a television sitcom series since Friends, and it's definitely the one that I would recommend getting invested in over some of the other crap that you see on there sometimes. I'd even say it surpasses 2.5 Men, given the fact that 2.5 Men devolved even further into itself and became almost a parody. Whereas Big Bang Theory, yes, it isn't what it was, but it's evolving, it's changing, it's not regressing into itself, it's expanding, and it's growing in its relationships, in the female applicants coming in and showing off their nerdiness and their own social awkwardness. But it's great, it's fantastic watching this little group grow as people, as individuals. It's fantastic. And do you know what? On a more personal level, I have to credit the show with giving me some pickups on a low day. You know, sitcoms are often good for that if you just need to lay on the couch, gawk, chill, chuckle. This show did more for me to pick me up on low days than most other shows, I've got to be honest. And Sheldon is a source of hilarity to me. The dude just slays me. His laugh, oh my god, it's so funny. If you've never seen that, please, I implore you, go and watch this series. I won't put a rating on it like I haven't put a rating on some of these. Just seriously, go out and check this series out. Like I say, from season 3 onwards, you won't regret it. It really is that funny. It's corny and it's sitcom-y, but it's funny. And that was this episode of Halcyon Bink. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, dislike, subscribe. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, I would really appreciate if you guys go and check out some of the other channels. Obviously some of my videos. Don't want to give out too much publicity. Go watch some of the other ones. Get them view figures up. I want to get up to 5,000 views now. That's the next big target and 100 subscribers. But in the interim period, if you want to go check out some of the other channels that I featured in my featured content section and in the links below, go and check out some of these content providers. They're great. They're just under-supported, but they produce great stuff. So go and watch them, go check them out, and if you like them and subscribe to them, that is absolutely fantastic. Comment in the section, let them know I sent you there, or that you went and had a checkout from me, because then we can all support each other, we can all give each other feedback and grow together, people. Can I get an amen? So thanks very much for watching again. Please stay tuned, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.